So this video is going to be a little bit different than what I'm normally doing. Normally my videos are informative and they just want to generate some comments from the informative, from the educational standpoint. This one, I actually am encouraging each of you to post a comment. I had two things happen this past week that sort of opened my eyes to who really needs OVR and who really needs this type of training. And unfortunately, what I'm finding is the majority of the people that need this training, their egos won't allow them to do it. They feel like they don't need to learn to draw from holster. They don't need extra shooting to where they actually mark their target and accurately hit the target. Those are people that typically just want to go to a range and pull the trigger and make loud noises. They're not necessarily trying to be better shooters. So to just clarify on what happened this past week on these two events, the first one really surprised me. It was an older gentleman. I say older, he was probably close to my age and in his 50s. And he came into the OVR, into the office while I was doing some filming, and kind of looked around and said, "Oh, there's no real guns here, huh?" And I said, "No, we specifically focus on the training side of it." And I offered up immediately, "Do you carry, concealed carry?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, when was the last time you had to draw from your concealed holster?" And he said, "Never. He doesn't need to." And of course I responded with, "Why not?" And he said, "Oh, well, I don't need to practice it either. If I need to, I can just do it." And to that, I showed him some drill that I was working on and how to do it, and the recoil of the pistol and everything. And I offered it up to him, and I said, "Hey, here's an opportunity. I'll go ahead and draw." And his excuse at that point was he didn't have his holster. And so I offered him up one of our holsters, and then told him he was free to do whatever drill he wanted to try and draw from holster, from concealment. And his excuse then was, "I don't have my belt on." So I offered him up a belt. And then it was, "Well, I don't have my glasses." The target's only about 10 yards apart away, and it's a decent sized target. It's a silhouette target, and I can set the distance to whatever you want. And I told him that, and thinking that maybe he would actually finally realize, maybe it's something I could practice. But his last excuse kind of threw me for a loop, and unfortunately, I actually chuckled a little bit. His last excuse was, "Well, I've got laundry that I have to go take care of," and walked out the door. So he found every possible excuse he could not to actually practice what it's like to draw from a holster. The second event was another gentleman that just kind of showed up while I was doing some filming and watched what I was doing, and he kind of enjoyed it. He said, "That's interesting. I like this. Let me try it." So he did, and took a couple of shots. It wasn't bad. It was a little off. He fumbled a little bit on the draw, and he blamed that on the holster. He's not used to the holster. I get it. There's some reality there. And tried it at the end. We went through about 4 times, and each time just didn't shoot very well. Put the gun down, had a few choice words to say. And at first I thought he was more like me, where he was mad at himself and didn't like the way he performed and wanted to make himself better. But no, he wanted to blame the pistol. He wanted to blame the holster, the system, everything he could think of, that it wasn't his fault. And unfairly, because I do practice at the facility all the time, but unfairly, I grabbed the pistol up, ran through the exact same drill, and did very well. And I said, "No, I don't think there's anything wrong with the pistol." He wasn't very happy with that, and I'm pretty sure I lost me a customer there. But again, those are the people that truly need this practice and this training, and they're not the ones that want to come in here because they want to be the loud, obnoxious guy at the firing range just shooting their big gun and getting everybody's attention. And in reality, what you need is the quiet person, that quiet professional that has that and that knows how to use it and that can draw quickly and efficiently and accurately shoot. And that's what OVR is about, is giving those people that opportunity. And so, whether you're far to one side where you don't think people should have guns and you should limit the magazine counts, that side, you should think that this is a great opportunity for everybody to learn the proper mechanics and techniques of handling a firearm. And that's what we need in here. And if you're on the opposite side, where you think everybody should have a gun with 50 rounds in their magazine and just be able to shoot whenever they want, Don't you want people to come in here and learn how to shoot properly? If you think you're worried about a terrorist attack or a coup, and you've got your neighbor next to you to fight with you, shouldn't that neighbor be trained? Shouldn't you trust that that person knows what they're doing and not shoot you in the back? So that's what OVR is about. And I really encourage everybody to post some comments on this. This is very controversial and very out of my normal nature. But those two events really opened my eyes. So I appreciate your comments.